Hi, so as promised, I'm going to give you an in-depth tour of my camper van. This may give you some tips and ideas if you're kitting out a van of your own, or if you're looking for a layout that you think would suit you, or maybe you'll take a little idea from here and there. So let's get going. So Connie, as I call her, is a Citroen Relay Enterprise L3H2. We'll start at the front. So I've gone for these extra wing covers just because if I do take a tap, hopefully it would protect my wing mirrors. She's dirty, I'm afraid. We've been 5.5 weeks on the road, so do excuse her. Here I've got the outlet for the gas truma heating system and hot water. In the middle there is where I fill up the water, and on the end there is electric hookup. I hate how some of the flaps end up going yellow on vans. It's so annoying. The Truma one was as well, but I managed to catch that, I think, on a branch, so I've had to replace it. Along the bottom here we've got a grey tap there, that's for the wastewater, and here is the underslung gas tank for filling, and this just comes off. It's a bit dirty, and there's your bayonet, I suppose you call it. I've attached a cable tie on there because in the past I've taken it off, put it on the floor, put the gas in and forgot to put it on, and they're about 7 or 8 quid to buy. What a rip-off. So yeah, I've popped some wheel trims on her to try and make her look a little nicer. And then if we go around to the back, she has 2 tinted windows in the back. This vehicle was actually an Army ex-MOD vehicle, and do they call them a crew bus? I'm not sure. And it had I think 2 rows of seats behind the driver, either 1 or 2, I can't remember, and then a partition, and I know this from the chap who did the conversion. He told me about it. So then if we come around to the other side, I've got the LPG sticker, UK sticker. I also have a little reversing camera fitted there because it makes life so much easier. Again, this side, no decals. Both sides have these sliding windows in there. And around to the front. Wing mirror protectors, as I mentioned. So, in we go. This is Connie. She's got a lovely relaxing area here. Underneath this area there's lots of storage, and surprise surprise, I'm using it to its full. Above the seating, more storage, and above the cab, more storage. As you can see, I've got all sorts in there. Then looking down, Connie, if I can get far enough back, we've just come through this door. We have the kitchen area. Plenty of storage under there. If you like cooking, extra worktop space. Got my fire blanket there. And then if you're really into your cooking, this table here is a swivel, and that can swivel across, and you have even more worktop. In the box down there, I use that as a bin. I wanted something with a airtight lid to stop any smells. Okay, let's just put this back in. Sorry, I'm trying to do everything one-handed. Bear with me. So I couldn't get that flap down with one hand, so that's down now. This here is fresh drinking water. It's got its own container, which is just outside here. And that has its own pump. So the water I drink, a little bit of storage there. The water I drink doesn't come through the entire system. I wouldn't drink it if it did. So we've then got little gauge here to tell you how full your waste tank is and how full your gas is. Both gauges, to be quite honest, are a total waste of time. They're so erratic. Then, get rid of that hair, we have here this sink. Now, something to bear in mind, I've seen some with lovely, pretty little sort of ceramic sinks, etc. Just bear in mind, you need to be able to fit stuff in there to wash up. So it might look pretty, but is it going to be practical? Next to that, got the 2-ring gas stove. I don't do a great deal of cooking, got to be honest. Can't be bothered, and I don't want to make my van smell either. So that's that. Just close that down. Splashback here. Electric light right above, so that's good. I've got several plugs here. One's for the fan for the shower, one is for the touchscreen lights on the ceiling, and one is for the fan in the rear. Charging ports. Then the storage goes right the way along from the door all the way to here. I have banged my head several times getting out of bed. I've tried sticking little glow sticky stars underneath, but I've got to remember to open my eyes to see them. I've got lights here, reading lights, both sides. And at the bottom of the bed, lots more storage. Smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector, very important. And I've got an extractor fan here. The lights are all touch lights, which are great. And then when I first started, I used to have the curtains open so I could see out the back window. But me being me and loving clothes, I've now used the hooks at the back to be able to hang my clothes, or some of my clothes, there. And there is a bit of space between the edge of the bed and the door, which I think is a great idea, because if needed, I could actually get my hand down here, if I didn't have my clothes in the way, and open the door from the inside as well. So, good idea, I think. It's a good height. I've got a little step to get up into bed. And lots of storage underneath. Now, under here is the heating, all the electrics, etc. in the boot, and the tank for the hot water. And in here I've got some storage as well. So then we have to the left, this is the shower and toilet. So we've got a tambour door, I believe they're called, if I can get it open, as such. I'll put the fan on, hopefully you'll be able to hear me, so you can see better. So a bit of storage going on here, obviously take it out when I have a shower. Got my toilet. I keep a mat here to save splitting the showered floor. Then this curtain will come around and the door gets closed, and that enables you to not soak your toilet. So it's a good idea. And that is a godsend. I wouldn't want a van without a shower, I must be absolutely honest. And then here we are back to the seating area. So let me just take a seat. The front I've just chucked a couple of bags in so that the back was clear to be able to show you. It did have 3 seats going across here. I had the double seat removed and a single one put in so that I can get through the centre should I need to be able to drive off. So let's take a seat. So that's the inside of my van. Some of the technical side, should I say, and I'm not great on technicals. Oh, I forgot to show you something. Up here, I forgot this bit, is the I put that there, it's just a temperature thing and tells you what the humidity is. In the middle here is the truma, all the how you work your heating and your hot water. And then I've got a USB and a 12 volt, and this will tell me how my battery's doing. So plenty of solar at the minute, so it's all good. Now, where were we? So this van has got underslung water tank, which I think is 66 litres, and an underslung waste tank, which is 50 litres. It's got underslung, they call it gas flow, LPG, which I believe is 25 litres, but you can't fill them fully, so I think you can go to 20 litres. The thing with that is more and more places, more and more garages seem to be stopping selling it, so bit of a nuisance. I am debating, I debated for 3 years, about getting a diesel heater fitted as a sort of backup, because you can obviously get diesel everywhere. Haven't got round to it yet. Maybe this will be the year. So yeah, I need to look into that. So as well as that water, I've also got the drinking water I showed you, which is 20 litres. On the roof, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see. Let's have a little look. I don't think you'll see, but I'll hold my arm up. I've got two 175 watt mono solar, and in the back of the van, I'm going to go around the other way because there's a mucky bit of mud there. So bear with me as we go round. You getting dizzy yet? Let's have a look. Very handy tap here today in this car park. Sorry about the noise. Some bloke's just turned up at the bar here. I think he's already had a few by the sound of it. This is the back. Now listen. Now listen. I don't want any comment about how full the back of my van is. Okay? So, this is obviously the clothes I showed you hanging. All bits and bobs, etc. And storage. And my booze stash, which I got because it was cheap. So you won't see, but in the middle here is there's a board that covers it, but it's the where all the electrics are, where my battery is, where the fuse boards are, so everything's there. I've got too much in my boots, I've got too much in the van, so I'm going to have a good sort out, because if ever there's anything goes wrong or a fuse trips, etc., it's a real pain to drag everything out. And of course, if it's bad weather and it's raining and you're somewhere, absolute nightmare. And it's happened to me, so I need to sort that out. Other than that, there's an extractor in the shower, which I mentioned. I think that's about it. I lie, I remembered something. So I've got these curtains which are fitted, and they just pull across at night, and they're thermal lined, and they keep it, you know, much than screen covers and all the rest of it. And also, again, for me, it's a quick thing that if there was something dodgy going on at night, someone I needed to move, I wouldn't be able to mess around to be taking all screen covers off and everything. I just pull the curtain pack, get in, and I'd drive. So that's something else to bear in mind about things like the screen covers that go on the outside of a van. Would you want to get out if there was somebody dodgy outside and go, hang on a minute, I'm just going to take the screen cover off and then I'm off? So yeah, I will do a video covering security tips that I've encountered. There's probably loads out there, but you know, could help somebody. My fridge, I haven't showed you my fridge. What am I thinking? So here's my fridge. It's a Vitrifrigo, 12 volt, fully 12 volt. Got the essentials, as you can see, and that's the sort of amount of room there is in it. I've got a little freezer bit. To be honest, it's pretty useless. So what I do is I put my small bottles of vodka in there to keep them cold. So yeah, also with everything in my cupboards, I make sure nothing rattles. So I didn't want to use plastic plates or plastic cups or, you know, plastic glasses, etc. So I use proper stuff, and I just put a little layer of sort of foam or whatever between each plate and a bit of bubble wrap around the glasses to protect them, and to stop any noise when I'm driving, because I don't like any squeaks or anything rattling or anything like that at all. Other than that, I think that's nearly it. I've just remembered, you can see there's a duct, that's where the heating comes out. There's one in the shower there, you can just see, just near the door. Just be careful that your door doesn't open over the duct. And another one here, opposite me. And when I do put the heating on, within 5 minutes, it's lovely and warm. So, yeah, great system. Other than that, yeah, I do really think that's it now. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you some ideas. And if you've got any questions or anything, shout out. I've told you about the solar 275 watt mono panels. I've got a 220 amp hour gel battery. And other than that, nothing else. I tend to be fine off grid occasionally in the winter. Now and again, maybe 3 or 4 times over winter, I might need to plug in for 24 hours to top it up. But again, it's a bit like a piece of string. It depends on the load you're going to be putting on the system, and everything else. So it will really be dependent on what you use, really. I'm not great at working everything out, but I don't bother watching. I used to watch TV, and I suppose on some winter nights, I've got the old-fashioned DVDs here, don't laugh, so that if I've got no TV signal somewhere, or if I was, you know, stuck in the van somewhere or poorly and didn't want to go anywhere, which has happened to me, I've got something to watch. So that's something else to bear in mind. Nowadays you've got smart TVs, I guess, with USB sticks and all that lark, but it's a bit beyond me. So yeah, I think that's about it. I've got another, next to me here by the sofa, I've got another 12 volt plug, so I can work with my laptop, and I can plug my phone in here so I can sit and mess on my phone. Yeah, it's a great van. The chap who did it did a brilliant conversion, and it really suits my needs. So, you know, the top tip is, when you're thinking about your layout, or you're looking at vans, think about how you will live day to day. So I wanted somewhere that I could relax and put my feet up, and that wasn't just my bed. I didn't want that to be my only place to relax. So with this, what I do is, on the driver's seat, I just roll the seat forward a little bit, and I change my cushion configuration, and I can sit there with my feet up all the way. It's long enough to do that. Another thing that can be done with this area is, across here, the chap who I bought it off of, he used to have his grandkids with him a lot, and he made the configuration so that widthways across, it made a single bed, which is a really good idea. And at the back here as well, I'm 5 foot, and I can lay here with, if my head touches the top end and I stretch my toes out, then I can reach the bottom end. Also, you see all these, they're not just girly, oh look, let's throw some cushions on the bed. They are for storage. So in there, I've got spare sheets, towels and fleeces, etc., should the weather get really cold in winter. And I have got some coats in some of them. I'm mad for clothes and everything, I must stop. So I do actually think that's finally it. You'll be pleased to know. Hope it's helped you, hope it's given you some ideas. And as I've mentioned, if there's anything that you think, oh, I didn't quite catch that, or what's that, or how did you, how's that layout, give me a shout, and if I can help you, I will. Thanks for watching.